Okay, welcome back to another analysis replay. This time we're going to be having a little look at Awilix played by Death Panther. Death Panther is currently in Diamond 2. This is about a 36-minute game where he goes 7, 8 and 10. He's currently in Diamond 2. How do you think you played? I think it went well. Don't quite know how to use a Awilix kit effectively yet, but all things considered, it didn't go too bad. What aspects of the game do you struggle with? Team fights, knowing how to fight with Awilix, what to focus on. What aspects of the game do you feel comfortable with? Farming and rotations. So, we'll have a little look through this one and see how this one goes. Now, Awilix is one of these gods that's... I honestly think she's actually quite mechanically difficult, a little bit on the lines of Sir Cat. She has a lot of things in the kit that a lot of people are still trying to realise with her. I'm making sure you actually get in range and abuse your auto attacks is one of the biggest parts of this kit that you kind of overlook for the most part. She's very, very mobile in terms of getting around the map. But you've got to make sure you actually get yourselves in decent position. Now, your composition, you do have a Sylvanas for you to be able to pull them. You've got Anher to be able to pull them in as well. And you've also got a Bastet on the enemy team. So those two are going to be definitely pullable targets for you to deal with. Quite squishy though in the team fights as a whole, as a team here. You don't really have that much engage, which is a bit worrisome. You've got a lot of damage potential, so you're probably going to have to go in and out quite often in these combats. First thing to note is just see how you use Suku for the most part. Will you use Suku correctly? Here comes an invader, level 1. Hog that. Good lad. Oh, that invader didn't well done. Good call on the back harpies as well. Wasn't the worst decision in the world to do what you chose to do there. Got back harpies, got your buff. Things aren't so bad. Nice lockup. Nice lockup at the end there. I like the fact you didn't spam your abilities too much. Clear the waves, see the way back, harpies. Yep, Suku will be up in time. This is a good call. Oh, don't go that way. Bit too risky. We got the farm in mid again. Good. And rotate for our own backs. This is a standard start for Awilix, honestly. It's not been too bad at all. You've not got a kill, but your experience game's been pretty good so far. You should hit 5 off this next wave in mid lane. Oh, don't leave that. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. We need to go back. I didn't expect that to happen. I was in semi-fast forward mode when that happened. So we'll do it back into normal speed and we'll talk through exactly what goes on here. You get hit by a full CC combo pretty much. You seem to be in that buggy stance where you're riding nothing. Now, what happened with this play here looks really confusing to me. I feel you could have just got away, honestly, Panther, if you just mounted up. You could have just jumped on Suku and left. I mean, they used their CC, but instead you eat full poke from them. I'll do it in slow motion here so you can see what happens. So that pull doesn't really affect you. It's the follow-up from this ninja that really causes you an issue. I mean, I don't understand. I think you eat all the minions too is the big issue. Or do you? This is a very strange death. It feels like a strange death. Ring hits you once. And you flip into them. Yeah, you are the Suku trying to jump over the wall. That was unfortunate, I guess. I think you should have just, instead of trying to jump over the wall, just leap away. They didn't have any more follow-up than that. That was a really good rotation. I don't think they had more follow-up than that. I think you could have just leapt straight away. You tried to jump over the wall and make it fancy, but you probably should have just gone straight back towards the tower and you would have been fine. We're back online again though, and we'll tune in to see how we're going now as we're going to rotate over these rights. He's still only level 4. Good poke. Rip, you just got your teammate killed too. That was the worst jump off ever. I wouldn't really advise using Suku in that situation, just because you shouldn't be using that. You should only really use Suku when you're going long distances, or you need to escape, or to jump over walls. Try not to use Suku just randomly like that. You jumped up when a Giannis wasn't going to go anywhere very soon, and even if you did, you could have leapt on Suku later on, and just leapt after him if you went through a portal to get through a wall. But you won 1-on-1, and honestly, Sylvanas' death was kind of down to you as well, in the way you played that one. Speed buff gets dropped. You have our ultimate online as well. Skill max is fine. Boots are online. Beads are online. Suku's online. Why do we jump on Suku then? We just wasted mana for no reason. Don't know why you do that. You just randomly jump on Suku. You've got to be careful about how often you use her. Now, technically, Suku doesn't go on cooldown when you use her, but the problem is it does consume mana the moment you take it. So taking that just lost you 50 mana for no reason whatsoever.
Double kill.
Now, the rotation over here is a little bit late. You might be able to get some clean up on something. It's going to be a little bit risky. Good poke. Good fight. Really good fight. Good using your auto attacks to keep in range and just keep putting the pressure on. That was a really nice kill, Panther. I was going to say, I don't know if that kill was really worth it, but you picked the target and took him out. You could have potentially looked for the lane gank instead of the ones that were still in lane. But I guess you were just trying to find whatever was available. The only risk with that you chose to do was the fact that you could have potentially got yourself in a spot where they rotated in, beat you up and kill you again. Be careful here in the mid lane. There's not really much you can do, and that's a Sobek. That is a Sobek. Respect Sobek. Respect Sobek. You're lucky you missed that charge prey. You need to respect him. What was that blink about? What was that blink about? Nearly killed you though. Well, he's dead now. Harpies go down. I'm going to go back to base here. You can't get involved in that fight unless I understand the base. 2 walls working on Jotuns. Back Harpies. Job's good. Red buff. Job's good. It's not the worst playing game in the world, this right now. Jump on Suku's fine there because you're going to be rotating, put the mana buff as well. Now that death was actually avoidable. This death that you just had there was avoidable. And the reason it's avoidable is because what you're doing with Suku is you're trying to use your leap for damage. Okay? You're using Suku leap for damage. You don't need to. Just use it to close the gap. Using it for damage, it should only really be done if it's maxed and you're looking to deal damage with it, but you're not. I mean, that's 80 damage that you're using here, and it puts it on cooldown for 15 seconds. If you would have just, instead of leaping off this, instead of leaping, just run around the corner and land and get in there. You don't need to leap. You still would have been in the same sort of position by just running around there. You're not even in range just yet. So you just walk around the corner, keep Suku available, right click, dismount from Suku, and fight. If you do this fight, again, the same situation will happen. You still got Suku available. And then what happens is once you've picked up this kill, and you're looking for the second, you could immediately have jumped on Suku right now and gone. Immediately, could have just run away. But because you used Suku for the engagement is the reason you actually die there. That was avoidable. That was an avoidable death if you would have just used your skills a little bit differently. You said like you're not used to how to play with her. That's kind of one of the reasons you get picked up there, honestly. Back on again. I keep forgetting what number you're on. There we go. Back up, he's down, speed down. There's just small little tweaks you've got to learn with Awilix now about how to really abuse her kit to your advantages. Realising that Suku's there for mobility and for short distances it's not worth spending the mana. But for longer distances it is. And not using the leap for damage. Using it just to jump over a wall if you need to. So you're doing it again with these leaps. These leaps just put it on cooldown for no reason. You don't need to jump off Suku there. You could have just right clicked and dismounted. You would have still had it available for this fight. If this fight gets sporadic you can still get involved and chase down targets. Now you got to run away on your feet just because you now got a Suku available. That was a really nice attempt at a bull. The beach usage wasn't so bad then. I guess you were worried about getting hit by the Tiva or the ultimate straight away from the Nija. That's one of those things that you try and prevent. They're looking for God Fury here, which you are aware of. You've only got Hog 2. Where the hell are we facing? Okay. Turn it around the back. I don't know about that death. You kind of got confused in what you wanted to do with a target here. That's what I felt with that one. Could have ulted there, but I guess you were a little bit low on mana. I didn't want to necessarily got you the kill. But this play here, you had multiple targets to choose from. And I think you just got too many options that you didn't know what to do. Your mana's kind of low. And you've got 3 potential targets here that you could be going on. Obviously, Sobek's still aggressing there. I don't think you had to aggress straight away here, but you stepped on a ward, so they didn't know anyway. But you don't know about that ward. But honestly, what you're really looking to do is just bring low health targets down. Feather Step, you die immediately, then this. And he's also in trouble with a Feather Step combo that you could do onto him. And I think what happens in this engagement is you try and choose multiple targets. You go for the Arnis, but then you get CC chained. And then you turn your attention to the Anher again, but Anher's channeling Desert Fury here, and I don't think you're going to be able to kill him because you've actually backs away. You kind of get yourself juked out trying to land that Feather Step auto. I honestly, the one thing you could have done here to save yourself is 3-2. If you 3-2 here, do you have the mana for that? Let me check. 85 mana and 80 mana. We got enough of that? Yeah, you've got enough, just enough of that. If you 3-2, using your 3 instantly allows you to use your 2 straight afterwards, just so you know. And if you 3-2, you'll flip over the back of his head, and you'll avoid some of that damage from Desert Fury, which potentially keeps you alive. Option 2 is jump on Suku and leap. There we choose 2 options to get away from this Desert Fury. Option 3 was turn back around and go aggressive over this side, because you could potentially just flip over the Nija, and while you're flipping, you're not taking damage from the Desert Fury as well. There's a chance you might miss it. It's a rough situation because you can see you're trying to get in there, but he does a really nice combo on you, honestly, with the reset to actually make sure he gets the impale off as well. And there wasn't going to be anything else you could do there. The death was unfortunate, but semi-preventable. The good news is, I was going to say good news, you got God Fury, but you didn't! RIP! So back to farming again for a little while. There's nothing too exciting to talk about.
Shut your mouth, man.
Kind of hunting for something to do here. There's definitely a chance to get this Anher now with your ultimate being available too. You're going to step in a ward though. Don't use your leap. Don't leap. Don't leap. Don't leap. Don't leap. Yeah, we're definitely struggling with Suku. That's showing. That's showing to me. Oh, that death was terrible, Panther. That death was terrible. You're really struggling with how to use Suku. You were like, I need to leap over this wall, but I couldn't leap over this wall. Your game so far for 30 minutes and hasn't been too bad, but your deaths have been preventable just because it's learning Awilix for the most part, that you're not actually doing her skills correctly or abusing the situation that she can put herself in. Stop using your leap for damage. It does, like, listen, it's 30 minutes in the game, right? And you're using Suku for damage. It does 80 damage. Is it really worth that 80 damage to put it on cooldown? No, it's not. It's just not worth it. Use Suku for mobility. To get up to this fight. Focus the tank, man. That was a nice combo, though. Jump. Oh, you're so bad with these walls. The deaths are unfortunate. Get to follow the half devil plays for 2 seconds. Yeah. So he's gone. And alive again. One thing I am noticing, you're not using your Moonlit Charge enough as well. I feel like you could use this a lot more for poke damage. Even if they're not facing the correct way, there's always a chance they will face the incorrect way, and you could potentially pull them if you want to. But Moonlit Charge does good damage. It does really good damage, 250. Well, at the moment it's 210 because you've got 4 points into it. But 210 damage plus 60% of your physical power, that's not bad at all. You should be using that for poke damage. That's your ranged ability for poke if you get the opportunity to, and it goes through multiple targets as well, don't forget. Actually, I need to correct myself. Did you go through multiple targets? Oh, I got an invite! Guys, I got an invite! Behind it from the side for knocked enemies, I also knocked him into the air. Yeah, all enemies. Okay. I was right. That was better. A little bit of poke. Shame it was on a Sobek though. Give up Harpies. The other ones are down. You're rotating around for this Bastet now, or for the farm more than anything because Anubis is there. You've got to get better at those leaps though. You like cling to that wall for about 20 seconds then trying to, well it wasn't 20 seconds, but you know what I mean. Trying to leap over it. There was no reason to really. Wave clearing's good here. You can get the split push on a little bit.
Double kill.
Poke, 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 poke. Get the tower down. Not a bad call. Good disengage. Could have potentially done your speed then the blue after, but I'm okay with what happened there. It wasn't that big of a thing. Just try to share the jungle a little bit more. Pull. Good pull. No. Right, what you actually did wrong then, it was only a small thing, but if you actually saw him beat your ultimate, all you had to do was hesitate for another 2 seconds, and then you could have used your 3, and it would have lifted him up again, which means you could have still got more damage off and put him in a worse position, so Agony could have closed like that. But you used your 3 at the same time as beads were still applied, so that means that you were going to avoid that. He was going to avoid that CC. That was just unfortunate. It could have been so much better. Good pull though. Good pull. And you force beads too. I'll be looking at ganking this Anhur again after this buff, because my ultimate's going to be coming back up again. That knock-up was hype, because you pushed Sobek through the wall. That was kind of cool. Good pull. Yeah, this is kind of the stage of the game where Awilix can struggle a little bit. I'm just going to watch this fight back again. And knock up into the port was hilarious, by the way. I loved that. We're watching a bit more slow motion here about what actually goes on. So you're thinking about going in. When you look at the fight situation, Agni's on the backside right now. Half-Del's in a bit of trouble on the Sylvanas, but he's okay. Shivalonki is not really getting involved right now. The ultimate comes out and you end up focusing onto the Sobek here. I would have looked at the Anhur. The Anhur should have been what you were trying to focus here. Oh, you do actually. Sorry, ignore me. That was the previous one. You ult him in, which is really good. And then you get flipped at the same time, which is unfortunate. The knockup was good there again. I don't know why we just don't keep going. You just flipped over this Sobek. Sobek's got nothing else available to him. I don't know why we don't start looking for the front line now and going aggressive. I know we've got no cooldowns, but our auto attacks do damage. Plus, we've got our ultimate available, which means we're dealing extra physical power, and we're also dealing extra. We've got extra attack speed for trying to burst down these targets. I would have been looking there. Instead, you turn away and you try and run. You could have looked for Nijar and fought Nijar there and left Agni the zone that she needs. Some of the issue you've got with this game is the composition you guys have got, is that you don't really have a front line apart from just Sylvanas. Everybody else wants to be backline. You want to be skirmishing. And now you're a bit worried about going in this combat because it's going badly. Shivalonki is about to die. And yeah, it's a messy fight. I don't know why you're hanging around now. You need to leave. Nothing else you can do. Potentially steal this away. You saved the buff. Was it really worth it though? Was it really worth it though? I don't think it was. And then we're going to see Kubis die as well. From there, I'm going to stop the game for now, Panther. What I can see with your gameplay, though, is that you need to use Suku a little bit more wisely. Stop trying to use it for leaping in for damage. There's no point. Keep it off. Keep it available for you so you can actually get away from the escapes. Learn to path over the walls with it. It's just like any other leap ability. You should know by now with how Season 2 is, with the walls and the ones that you can jump over. It's exactly the same with Suku. If you don't know, go and play Anher for a bit and just leap over walls to find out which ones you can and can't pass and what areas are good for passing over. Your engagements in the fights aren't too bad. I think you just need to abuse the Suku a little bit more, and the Moonlit Charge you're starting to use a little bit more as the game went on. But you could have been going a lot better in that game. And some of your deaths were unfortunate because you just got yourself in a bad position that you really didn't need to. Really didn't need to. Good luck, though, in your future games.